Hello! Hello, hello! It appears the system is working! We're doing a different kind of stream here. I'm just making sure everything's working. I have not streamed from here, and I spent way too long fixing the stream layout instead of doing the work that I desperately need to do here. But I thought I would be more motivated if I streamed it and we got some cool stuff going on. So today, I haven't even opened the Stream Labels app. I don't know if that still works. Today we are editing some OBS videos in DaVinci Resolve. Alright. Sounds good, looks good to Mike DTV. We'll see how you feel about that once we get the system sound involved. But hello, hello. Alright. So I don't have Stream Deck set up for this like a professional. Like I said, I just kind of threw this together. So I believe this is the scene I want. Ooh! But I can show you all in real time a new OBS feature that I'm making part of the video about. So, of course, that will require me to take a moment to make this here, but I think you all will be impressed if you haven't kept up with the OBS updates yet. I'll copy this to our local drive here. Everything's running smoothly now, but that doesn't mean it will be when we start kicking things up in DaVinci Resolve. Alright. Track mat. Okay. Alright. So this is a new transition option you have available in OBS. Actually, I'll show you what it normally looks like. This may be a mistake. Hang on. I should actually make sure I have that proper file first. Transitions, because sometimes this will just like wreck your all's ears if I don't do it right. Alright, properties. Let's replace this with the updated one. Yep, alright. So this is what my transition normally looks like. Wow, it did nothing at all. Question mark? Oh, that's why. I have transition overrides for transitions that don't exist. Alright, so this is what my transition normally looks like. What? Hello? What happened? I have no transition. Transition override. Oh, it's not saving my transition overrides. Let's try it again. Nope. OBS is broken. I'm gonna have to report that in the forums. Well, that stinks. Here, let me see if I can do it to this scene. There we go. So that is what the transition normally looks like. The CRT comes in, it fills the frame, the audio may glitch out and just sound like a blue screen, but that's what it normally looks like. What it looks like now is gonna be this. Boom. And of course the display capture set to the wrong display. But that's fine. So now we get a cool preview in the CRT. It just requires OBS to cooperate. So I don't know if this is my profile broke or if it's actually broken in OBS Studio. But I'm going to report this in the Discord real quick. I don't know if it's just me, but transition override in RC1 is not working. It doesn't acknowledge when I change the override. It's very possible that it is glitching because the transition that it's referencing literally doesn't exist. Matt Stinger grid. So we can go find that transition and try to fix it. So maybe it just can't replace it because what it's looking for, like I said, literally doesn't exist. I get the feeling that's not the case though. If I go to Transitions. Grid stinger. Slow, but it technically works. All right, now what happens? Oh. Okay. So now if I go to transition override and do none, or, yeah. And if I come down here to webcam, it does that super laggy thing that we're not going to do anymore because it's loading it over the network. And now if we go back to that scene, it's still doing it. Yeah, it will not change my transition override settings. Oh! I lied. Nope, I didn't lie. Never mind. Yeah, I won't override it. I don't know how to explain that. Whatever. That's not what we're here for. We are here for the lovely game of editing in OBS and Resolve and hoping OBS itself doesn't crap the bed. So I have shot 4 videos for OBS Studio Beta 27, and we are editing them here. But I have not done anything other than... Actually, I didn't even finish my face work here. So I need to do that. So we're going to scale up that a tiny bit. This is a face refinement plugin for... Or not... it's technically a plugin, but it ships within Resolve, which allows me to... make me look a little bit less exhausted from this past weekend. And then we'll go over here to Global Blend. And this is what it looks like. Off, on, off, on. You're barely going to be able to tell a difference. That's the idea. Just enough to make me feel happier about how dead and awful I look. Alright. So, let us screenshot some settings here. Whoop. And 0.152. So I come over here to this clip. 0.152. And come down here to the bottom. Eye retouching? Oh, it's right there. 0.073. 0.119. 0.101. And yes, you could just apply this grade to the other clips, but I've already tracked it, and if I reapply the grade to this clip, then it would lose all of my face tracking and have wasted however much time I dedicated to it running itself. I wonder if I can put chat to the left of my controls here. I don't think I can. OBS's layout is confusing sometimes. Like, with Premiere, oh, now I can't even embed the chat at all. Because now it's just like, oh, you want this on your other monitor? Here you go. In Premiere, it gives you little indicators of where your docs might go. With OBS, like, I don't have a dock that's just the full right-hand side. And so chat always takes up a tiny amount of space. What's up, Rush Dark Shadow? Happy Easter. Apologies, we're not doing Pokemon openings today. Yeah, I wish docking was a little bit better. And it's funny that I compare it to Adobe, because Adobe's docking is not great either. I'll say that much. Oh, I still have an input history plugin on this. I could use this for my tutorials, and I just keep, like... Man, that would be useful for my tutorials, and I forgot I even had that plugin installed. Sick. Anyway, so this is my A-roll. I have synced the audio. I keep running into an issue. I have a program called Pluralize, which is supposed to sync your audio and video. The problem is, at the moment, my Atomos recorder is recording audio before the video. And so it syncs my audio recorded to Audition with the audio recorded in the Atomos. But then I can't, like, it's not synced up to the video because the audio in the Atomos isn't synced up to the video. So obviously that's not Pluralize's fault. Man, we're still using that crappy transition. But it does make things a little awkward. What's up, Zerv Gamer? Thank you for the tier 1 sub AJ Core TV. That is a doc I needed to add to my OBS layout here, is Twitch activity feed. I just enabled it, and I don't have the slightest idea where it went. View, docs, Twitch activity feed. It is selected. And nowhere to be found. I have my OBS layout like finely tuned on the Retro Room PC where I've been doing my Pokemon streams. It's not finely tuned, but it's in a good place. On this computer, this is an OBS like streaming layout. Yeah, I have no idea where that panel went. This is a streaming layout that's been migrated across like multiple Windows installs since 2019. And so it's kind of a wreck. Anyway, probably on a Ghost monitor. Yeah. Got a new stinger yourself? Nice, yeah. Go ahead and link it. Alright, let's start actually editing. Crap, it's already 12:30. Not supposed to have spent an hour working on getting the stream going. It's supposed to be a 2-hour stream. All 2 hours dedicated to streaming, and I spent an hour getting it set up. 2 hours dedicated to editing, not streaming. That was a misspeak. Stinger transition. Alright, so we're editing the video. We're cropping in because my current teleprompter setup that I'm using, which actually I am replacing tomorrow, so I can go ahead and unplug and show you. So, how do I want to do this? I did not consider this. I have an overhead cam. I don't think that's the call. I think I'm going to do an NDI. I think I'm going to fire up, or Epoch Cam. Which app shows up first for me? The answer is none of them. Question mark? NDI Ajax capture. Alright, click to begin broadcast. No, we don't want to do screen. Never mind. That's a screen capture, not a camera. Epoch? Oh, hey, Epoch Cam. The beta has expired. They sent me a beta that has expired, and I can't use Epoch Cam anymore. Holy Elgato! You revoked my press key? Why does nothing work the way it's supposed to? NDI. NDI HX camera. I already had it installed apparently. Alright, we rocking and rolling. Alright, studio mode, new scene. Actually, we're just going to duplicate the one we have. In NDI JC. Add NDI source. Phone. That's fine. Shazamo. Drag it up to fit here. And cut studio mode. Bam. How did the whole thing? Did it just convert aspect ratios on me? It did. It just converted to some. Is that stretched? It's not stretched. NDI just auto-converted the aspect ratio. I've never seen that happen. I didn't change quality modes. There we go. Max quality. Oh my god. Disable audio. Perfect. I hear you. I hear you. Alright. The whole point of this is to show you what I have going on here. So the camera you've been seeing me from is the Sony A7C. And yes, I'm lit by a giant Aperture Light Dome Mini. I'm changing that out for the Light Dome Mini SE at some point. When Aperture sends it to me along with the 200X. But for now, it's the 120D with the Aperture Light Dome Mini and all 3 layers of diffusion. So you've been seeing me through the Sony A7C. And with it, I have a Parrot prompter. But in order to use a prompter, instead of putting my phone in it, I have this tiny little monitor that I'm now going to unplug. Or not. Or not. One-handed is fun. There we go. Ah! So this is an EYO-YO, stupid ass name, 7-inch little video monitor. Has HDMI pass-through, accepts a 4K 30 Hertz signal. It does not have mirroring, however, so I have to use a web app for telepromptering that allows me to mirror it. But then I just slotted it in. It was the perfect size for a phone. And then I have the parrot prompter on the camera itself, which just attaches to the front of the lens. Pretty handy. I ordered a new solution, however. I have, however, ordered a new solution as the parrot prompter is kind of more ideal for... The parrot prompter is kind of more ideal for me to use on my big camera setup where I can, you know, where I'm doing formal setup videos. That's the only one I would be able to use there. So I have ordered a different one that will allow me to use a bigger monitor. And so I've ordered a bigger Feel World. These Chinese companies have the dumbest names. A Feel World 7-inch monitor that will be hooked up via HDMI to my computer, and hopefully it supports mirroring, and I'll just be able to use my teleprompter from there. But that way I'm not loading up some dumb phone app, nothing like that. I have it all controlled from my computer onto the prompter, and I could pull up, like if I was on a Skype call or a Zoom call, I could pull up whoever I'm looking at and actually look at them, which is pretty handy. Alright, this angle is stupid as hell. Whatever. Alright, anyway, back to the editing. Once again, I'm getting distracted. Are a great way to improve now my angle's all jacked up. Live streams and videos. Stinger transitions are a great way to improve your face. Anyway, actually the point I was saying for that is I have to zoom in a little bit because the monitor I was using, you have a little bit of a darkness from the it has this it has a sun hood attachment mechanism that isn't removable, and that was pointing up into the prompter, causing this black border at the bottom, which is part of the reason I wanted to change as well. And so I needed to crop that out, is what I was getting at. That is a little too big of a crop, though. Probably get away with that. Production value for your streams and videos. These stinger transitions are a transition between two scenes where a visual of some sort, an animated logo, text, or even just a shape, in general, enters over top of the first scene and generally fills the frame to hide the transition to the second scene. If you have any questions about my editing process, of course, drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat. I guess I could show you which one I have purchased. I'm hoping it works out. It's a little big for my setup, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. But if it works out, I'm buying 3 more because I want 2 more over in the retro room setup. So it's a little big. My main concern here is it blocking off some of my light and causing a shadow. I don't want it to block off too much of my light, but this is the smallest I can find compared to the camera. Like realistically, compared to that beefy boy DSLR, like it's not much bigger. And so theoretically, it shouldn't block too much, but if it does, I'm just going to return it. Was it $200? Did I pay $200 for this? I did. I thought it was $100. The paraprompter is only $100. So, you know, whatever. And then I picked up this Feel World monitor, which as far as I can tell, while it has quite the thick bezel, I don't think it has a bit that sticks up into the frame. So I think I should be good with that. New OBS update enhances those traditions. A new OBS update enhances those transitions and can help make them even higher quality. Yeah, I had a very long and exhausting weekend, and so I had a lot of bloopers in this edit. I'll tell you that right now. Alright, a new OBS... Stinger transitions are a great way to improve your production value for your streams and videos. These stinger transitions are a transition between two scenes where a visual of some sort, an animated logo, text, or even just a shape in general, enters over top of the first scene and... generally fills the frame to hide the transition to the second scene. Yes, I live in southern Indiana. We drove by iOS at some point in a video. I can't imagine where you saw that in a video, but I'm sure I filmed it at some point. A new OBS update enhances... A new OBS update enhances those transitions by letting you mask certain areas, combining it with the idea of a Luma matte transition that can help them... and can help make them even higher quality in the future. Here's an example. I'm EposVox, the stream professor, and the version... I'm EposVox. Alright, and then at this point, we're showing an example of the transition that I have made here. Oh, I also need a GitHub screenshot of the OBS update. Nope, not issues. I feel like I realize I'm not a coder or whatever. But I feel like GitHub's UI to find anything as an end user is just almost incompetent. This is the hotfix, not the beta. I sent someone in the OBS Discord on a quest to figure out my transition override's not working, and they just keep breaking transitions outright. That's almost impressive. Alright, screenshot. I use a full page capture. Actually, apparently it's called Go Full Page now. That's a recent change. Chrome extension to get these full page screenshots without having to just screen record it with OBS. Very handy. Alright, so we're putting this here. Track matte stinger example. Alright, so to be fair, I'm going to cheat here. Because I have the stinger with alpha here, where it cuts out. And so I can just manually... Oh no, I'm not gonna do that actually. I'm not gonna manually track that when theoretically Resolve would have... Aha! Resolve doesn't have a track matte feature. How? Alpha matte... What? Shrink and what? Shrink and grow? How does it not have a track... Resolve... Alright, never mind. We're just using the example I recorded in the house. We're just using this awkward ass clip. Because sometimes you just gotta make a video. Alright. Transitions. Impact. Shabama. I'll just zoom in on this really awkwardly for now until I figure out what to cover up all the transitions with. It's probably a Fusion node. I don't want to go into Fusion for something like that. That's the one thing I don't like about Resolve. I understand that Fusion is powerful and almighty and whatever. But that's such a derailment of, like, working. To have to go into that, find the node, build that, and come back, and then it's not on the timeline. It's just fucking stupid, man. Whee! Whee! Super awkward with me just sitting there, but it'll work. What's up? D. Brunsky! This is why we have Patrick Sterling in his templates, yes. The stream update professor and the version 27 update for OBS Studio has just entered beta. I've been covering a few of the updates in different videos. I'll keep an updated playlist link in the video description so you can keep up with all. Alright, and then we can cover this up with that GitHub page. So, another complaint I have about Resolve is, and this is something else I used After Effects for, is if I go in here and I like fill this up and I do some keyframing, blah blah blah, and then like move it, blah blah blah. I have no way to add motion blur to that, and I could do that in After Effects. Secondly, I have no real way of easing it, because if I right-click these keyframes and click ease in, if I have it zooming and moving, it'll do this really awkward curve past what I had it go to and then end at where I had it go to, which looks awful. After Effects didn't do that. Now, I still can't fix the easing, and everyone I talk to, like, there is no way to fix the easing, but I could theoretically fix the motion using the transform effect here, which is a GPU accelerated effect. Then I come down here, and this gives me a motion blur option for the movement. However, if I fill the canvas with the image, it loses the rest of the image. It just crops it off, so it has nowhere to move it. But then if I go back here and don't fill the frame with it, and then I zoom in myself manually with this, which is sluggish as can be, but technically it works. Actually, it's tanking OBS's performance. Wow, we dropped to 40 FPS for that one. If I come back in here, this is blurry as shit. What the hell? So again, if I undo this, come back in here and sit fill, it's the proper resolution. That was fucking loud. Control audio by OBS. Why is it playing back to my speakers then? Thank you so much for the donation. I gotta pull up Twitch now because I was not looking at OBS because I was looking at the audio. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you're having a great evening. Actually, that's something else I could pull up here. That's a doc I need to add as my Streamlabs activity feed. Oh, but it's right there. Zerv Gamer, thank you so much. It's a tip, not a donation. I need to fix my alerts. But since it said donation, I'm going to say donation right now. But it's a tip. Thank you. Anyway, I'm never going to get this editing done. Like, realistically, I need to be working my ass off right now, but I've had a rough weekend, so I'm just going to take the L and get some of y'all stream time. And I just made $10, so come at me, Mr. Beast. $10 for editing a video. Who knew? All right. 20 on 7. This update comes with a specific change for stinger transitions. Track mat support. Track mats are basic. Yeah, that's about all we can show anyway. Boop, 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 boop. And transition off. Yes, this is DaVinci Resolve on OBS 27. This update comes with a specific change for stinger transitions, track mat support. Track mats are basically a way of... Alright, now to see if I can find a definition of track mat. Just a reference for the video. Hey, School of Motion. Coming in clutch. And we're just gonna yeet that right off the Google page. With attribution, of course. Shabam. And we're gonna paste that in the correct foldy. Foldy-majig. Track mat diff. Oh yeah, I love editing. Editing is effectively my trade above anything else that I do here. That's why the conversation always gets awkward about like hiring people. Because the conversation is always hire an editor. But the editing part is the part that I love like the best, theoretically, other than playing with the toys. And it's certainly the part I would want the most control over if that's the part I love the best. Therefore, hiring it out gives up my favorite part of the process and isn't a good idea. Even if I'm lazy about it sometimes, it's still... Granted, there are times, like I had... Like the Mr. Beast video I posted last week. Like the second half of that video, I just could not edit anymore. I just needed to make it. And so theoretically, I would have loved to hand it off to a second person to then add on to it. But it don't work out that way. Indicating how a video file should be masked between two video sources to act as an overlay, typically as a transition between them. This is used in place of a normal transition point indicator, usually by saying... Alright, transition out of that. Alright, crap. There we go. Usually by saying what point in milliseconds or which frame in the animation is the transition point. Oh no, this needs cropped back in a little bit. Whee. That's how you had to do it before for stinger transitions. That option is still available, but now you have this new option. The uses for... Yeah, this angle is definitely a little bit more awkward with that extra height I had to add in.
Transitions here actually go beyond what you might traditionally think of for scenes or transitions. That is when a graphic comes in and fills the frame to hide the cut between your two scenes and allows you to do cool transitions between two scenes that actually still so. And it allows you to do.
No, that's not where I told you to cut. Hello? There's a frame right here. Cut on. Well. Yeah, that's awkward. I see why it's making that decision. It's like Resolve makes its own judgment of what frame it thinks you should cut on. It's really bizarre. I think if I go to this, I can cut a little more freely. No. It was just the magnet. I don't know. Sometimes I make it work. It's really annoying.
That actually still so and allows you to do, and it allows you scenes, and it allows you to do lots of cool transitions between the two scenes that actually still shows the scenes as they're transitioning in unique ways. Here are some examples.
How am I gonna make my life so difficult?
Example track matte transitions. Here are some examples.
Well, now I have to find multiple examples. I only made one. Damn it, past Epos. From like 6 hours ago. Nah.
And it allows you to do lots of cool transitions between the two scenes that actually still shows the scene.
Resolve is like the best. I don't even touch Premiere anymore. Mainly because it doesn't even work. Like, we're gonna open it. And we'll see how long it takes me to get into a project. Right, now I need examples. I don't have examples. Someone else gave me examples that I don't have on this computer, but I have on another, well, I'll just re-download them. Here we go. Track map. Whee! Okay, but I'm not gonna open OBS to use that right now because I'm streaming with OBS. So, by the way, Premiere is still here on the splash screen. Oh, all right. It opened Premiere itself. New project. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, you're right. We're gonna cut that. Thank you.
Track mattes work by identifying.
Now Premiere is frozen, not responding.
Mattes work by identifying the black areas as one of the clips, say the scene that you're transitioning from, and the white areas as the other clip, the scene you're transitioning.
Alright, I can use my example for this. We'll do audio or video only rather.
And the white areas as the other clip, the scene you're transitioning to. The scene you're transitioning to.
We need color generator. Whee! Get some text up in here. Let's check on Premiere. Nope, still frozen. Oh, there we go. Now it's open. And then if I try to mess with like essential graphics panels or something, it'll just keep freezing randomly. I realize this is an issue with my particular installation, but this happens every time I use it for a little bit, and I've just given up. I've given up. I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Take this all away. I've given up. I've been trying to learn to fry scream. It hurts, and I'm pretty sure my voice is too low to effectively do it. I mean, I'm sure someone could teach me, but everyone teaching it on, like, YouTube is, like, already much higher octave than me, and then they're just like, yeah, you gotta just get higher with it, and I'm like, my fry doesn't exist higher past a certain point. They're all like, hey guys, I got a hoarse voice, but you want to learn to scream? Find your fry, mine's up here. And I'm like, I'll turn my under desk fan on real quick. Yeah, Resolve 17 has had some issues, but 16 was like rock solid. You mean you don't like my high-pitched fry voice from YouTube? I'm a YouTube singer. I've given up. Stinger. Track Matt. Hey, thanks for the bits. Much appreciated. This is my day job. Day and night are just a figment of our imaginations. They're a societal construct brought to us by big sun and moon.
In your transitioning to. Then in editing software, you typically use a...
Oh, I know why I wanted to open Premiere, so I could view the track matte effect. And now I closed Premiere, so we're going to open it again with the power of the Elgato Stream Deck. But yeah, my fry is somewhere like... No, that's not it. I can't do it now. It's like... Because it's supposed to be your normal, like, talking voice. Which is here. Not here! Damn it. I've given up. I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Now I sound like someone who I'm not going to make fun of. I like that robot-y voice. Is bad. A societal construct fabricated by the very universe itself. Yeah, exactly. Now we gotta wait on Premiere again, so I'm just gonna go to set a marker.
A track matte effect and specify which. Then in editing software, you typically use a track matte.
Yeah, I can cover this.
Then in...
Why did you cut there in the middle of the freaking breath? Cut where I placed the blade tool. That's what it's for.
Then in editing software, you typically use a track matte effect that you would drag onto the clip and then specify which, black and white, which is which, and overlay your clips, and bam, you have a transition. This differs from Stinger transitions, which just use a graphic with an alpha channel to, or this differs from Stinger transitions.
God, so many
mashups. Which just use a, this differs
from Stinger transitions, which do other stuff. Hey guys, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Track matte key right here. Yep, that would definitely be in Fusion for Resolve. All right, now we gotta make like a timeline and crap. Darn it. Swoop. Don't know if y'all can hear the music, but it freaking rocks. I didn't actually render out the track matte side on its own, so we're just going to crop it, and that will be fine. So now we need a couple videos to like cut between. I have no idea what the filmmaker scene in Southern Indiana is. I'm not a very local community involved kind of person. I'm an introvert. Alright. Swoop. Let's get our swoop. There it is going. And we're going to scale that up to 200%. Bring that over. That is not supposed to be there. I can like fill that in with black. Although Premiere doesn't give you a solid generator like Resolve does, or After Effects does. Colors. Black.psd. That sounds like it should be something bad, but really it's the color black. Like the shape of water. Or the color purple. Alright, cut it there. No! Frame too early. There we go, cut it there. Boom. Okay. But now I need to screen capture this. That's awkward. We'll use second OBS instance and hope it's fine. Please, portable OBS, do not hurt us. Question with the GoXLR Mini, every time I seem to use my slider, when I slide the fader down, the volume LED doesn't go down until I bring it back up past the previous volume, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like it got stuck in a state that was lower than it already was. That's an issue with there not being motorized sliders on the Mini. I'm sure there's a fix, or maybe they're working on it. I don't really know. I don't use the Mini very much. Do you see Elgato at any point creating a physical volume slider to go with the Wave 3? I highly doubt it. I mean, it's literally on the mic. That was like half the point of the product was to combine it. So I would be very surprised if we saw them make another one. There's another company coming out with some cool stuff like that, though, that... Stay tuned. You can't say more than that. Alright. We got some screen capture going. Track mat key. Track mat key. Mat. None. Mat alpha. Mat numa. Reverse. Reverse. Crisscross. Oh wait, I only have one clip. I'm supposed to have 2 clip. Do PC, we go biggest change. Okay. Drag up. Mat. None. Why you no mat? Oh, because you don't put it on the freaking transition, you put it on the clip. Yeah. I am good at the edit. Now all my clips are out of order. Track mat. Mat. Video 5. Mat Luma. Whoa, that's a freaky effect. That's not what I want either. Oh, I can't map out with the solid there. Okay, so we're good here. Whoa! Whoa! And now we take the same clip we already put here. We set to 200% and we bring it over here. That doesn't sound right. 3833. 1920 times 2 would be 3840. There we go. Oh, I have a PC panel on the way too. I forgot about it. Do 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 do, and it works. At that point, we cut the top clip. Oh no, wait. Cut the bottom clip. Yeah. No. Whatever. I got enough screen capture there. That's all that matters. Oh, it's not stopping recording. There we go. It's like OBS, if you delete this file. Alright. We want that clip. Screen. Got too many windows to juggle. Oh, I haven't put any of these screen files in here. Shwoop. Oh, yes, I did. Get wrecked. Alright. There we go. Now we need... Yeah, so PC panel doesn't separate, as far as I understand, it doesn't separate like multiple audio devices or tracks or anything like the GoXLR or the Wave does, but rather it just lets you control the program's volumes, which is useful just to give you physical controls over your computer. A lot of people like that and prefer that. I am one of those people. It's just more control over your PC. Use a track matte effect that you would drag onto the clip and then specify which, you know, black and white. All right, we're gonna just speed this up and no one will care, honestly, because this isn't a Premiere Pro tutorial. Which is which. And then we come down here and set retime to frame blend so it makes our cursor look nice and smooth in the retime. Clips and bam, you have a transition. This differs from Stinger transitions, which use a graphic on an transitions. Why did I open Topaz? No, we're not upscaling right now. Alpha channeled with transparent background to pull in a graphic over the top of the scene. Track mattes don't require alpha, and they're non-tra. This differs from Stinger transitions, which use a graphic on an... Did I really... This differs... Thanks, Epos. Hashtag thanks, Eeps. This differs from Stinger transitions, which use a graphic on an alpha channel transparent background to pull in a graphic over top of the scene. Track mattes themselves don't require alpha channels. They're a non-transparent video, and the track matte process is what causes the transparency. But to use them in conjunction with Stingers here in OBS Studio, it does require alpha for the Stinger side of the transition. Otherwise, it doesn't know what it's messing out here. So unfortunately, my recent investigation into which media... Alright, and then we need... my channel page. I swear this gave me notices about clips, right? I had clipped the Modern Warfare stuff for the next video. No. It should have been clips I've created here. This is 8 months ago. I'm pretty sure I've made more clips past 8 months ago. Whatever, Twitch. Alright, so we want... this one. I'm just gonna... actually... boop, boop. Pro tip, if you're screenshotting stuff, zoom in a bunch because it does a vector rendering of a lot of elements on a website and makes them higher quality. And your screen captures look better. Now I will need to crop that a little bit because I got the other thumbnail in there, but that's fine. Sup, Cannonair. Cannonair. So we just crop off that tiny bit of the side. No big deal. Which media sources are best for... So unfortunately, I made a lot of mistakes in this video. Because I hate making it easy for myself. By the way, I mentioned it on Twitter, but I haven't mentioned it on YouTube or anything. We will have merch coming this quarter. I don't know when exactly. We don't have a date yet. I would guess May, just because that's next month, and that's probably a realistic time frame. Hello, transition. But we're working on some cool merch. And we got some cool stuff coming. It's going to be a limited release drop. I think you all are going to love it. And there will be a theme that we continue, assuming they sell well. Does that video feel like a waste of time with the OBS 27 coming so quickly? No. Because as I say in just a minute here,
So unfortunately, my recent investigation into which media formats are best for media sources and stinger transitions in OBS Studio still applies here.
Still applies here. That video was not a waste of time. So many people commented in that video saying, oh, you don't need alpha channel hardware accelerated support because you have track mats. Track mats still require alpha. So it fixes nothing. My video was not a waste.
Go watch that video if you missed it.
Go watch that video if you missed it. What's up, Hunter App 23? I've never heard of you before. That was a joke to people who aren't familiar with my moderation staff. It's not a funny joke. I am exhausted. Don't question me. Any brimers in the chat?
If you missed it. To use a track mat with a stinger transition in the new OBS update, add your stinger transition that's rendered out with the track mat and check use track.
I wish I would have worded this differently, because I tell you how to add it to OBS, and then I'm like, but wait, you can't do that yet. You must edit it, and then add it to OBS. But I did not word it in a way that I could just chop this off, and it makes sense. So we rolling with it. All right, screen capture, track mat stinger setup. Whoa!
To use a track mat with a stinger transition in the new OBS update, add your stinger transition that's rendered out with the track mat and check use track mat. Now, you don't need to specify a frame or time to transition.
We'll throw that transform thing on here. And we'll say wham bam thank you ma'am. Thank you for the raid, REQXXX Rex. The party is 7. Bwah, bwah, bwah. We are Bo from Superstore now. All right.
As it will just follow the track mat. You do have the option of using separate stinger and track mat files as individual video files, but to keep them in sync, it's best to put them in the same file. So let's look at how I built my example. So for my example,
we're actually going to delay this next part of the video as I show it using the track mat checkbox there. And we'll just reuse that clip when time comes. Hey, how's it going? We're doing some late night video editing. Got some videos to crank out for next week and haven't been able to do any of it so far this weekend because it's been hectic. We were supposed to be installing the AC unit for the studio this weekend. We got pretty much everything set up, but a single tiny little part was missing that can't be easily acquired, and no place that would sell them or have them in stock are open over the weekend, and so I have to wait till probably late next week to have AC. It's going to be hot this week, so I'm getting things done at night while I can. Also, this is a very janky temporary streaming setup that I threw up right before I started editing because I was like, maybe if I stream, things will be better. All right, under screen, we have a bunch of Shadowplay files from when I made this on my computer in the house.
So for my example transition, I took my usual stinger transition of my CRT animation coming in and filling the frame, but I teviously masked out the screen and another VHS animation so that at a certain point...
All right. I won't parent.
What can I say? I love torturing myself.
All right. We will make that funny pop-in joke.
Baby was watching.
Even though no one cares, and they're going to be like, you talk too much. And my retention will reflect those thoughts. Although I split this up into a bunch of short videos, less than 10 minutes. I'm not even done chopping it up yet, and it's less than 7 minutes. So hopefully retention will be better this time. Spoilers, it won't be. Although my eyes, not eyes. Number 1 rule of editing. Finished is better than perfect. That's actually a great rule for everything in life, especially creative fields, but how can your eyes be real if mirrors are fake? Whee! Super time lapse for no reason, but other than it shows me masking out something for like an hour in After Effects. And actually, that's probably all this shows as well. Yep. Actually, so we're gonna undo. We're gonna add this one on it. And this probably shows the same thing. We're gonna add that one on it. Does this one show the same thing? Nope, that shows us actually building the track mat. So we're gonna nest these together. Super speed, track AE. Good artists make art. Great artists ship art. Yep. Retime controls. We'll just speed this up super fast. Come down here. Frame blend. Nope, not optical flow. Dear God, I don't hate you that much. And watch it go super fast, although it's probably not going to play back in real time, because for whatever reason, in Resolve for me, playing back clips faster than real time, or, well, slower is obvious, but like, it doesn't maintain frame rate, even though this is a process that should run fine. Like, even with frame sample, which is the default, so just nearest, it should literally just be picking the frames it needs and running full speed. It doesn't. I haven't found anybody who can, like, recreate it and tell me what's up, though.
CRT animation coming in and filling the frame.
Yeah,
but
see, this is not running at a competent frame rate.
Another VHS animation, so that at a certain point it glitches and becomes transparent. What can I say?
Whatever. You can see what's going on in the final render. Hey, Epos, what lens do you prefer for your A6400? So I have two Sony A6400s over on the Retro Room setup. Oh, hey, that's showing the stream back there. That's funny. And I use Sigma 16mm f1.4s on both of them. My favorite lens. Sorry, I'm chatting with Barnacles about that BitClout bullshit website.
Now I have a Stinger.
That's wide. No, it's not. On an APS-C sensor, that would be roughly 35 millimeters, which is actually tighter than you probably want for a webcam, but at a good distance, it's fine. No, that's not 35 millimeters. It would be 20 millimeters. 24 millimeters. 24 millimeters, which is actually the focal length of this lens on a full-frame camera. 20 to 35 is roughly the range that you want for a webcam lens, but you got to keep crop factor in mind with that. So a 24 lens on an APS-C sensor would be like 35 millimeters. A 24 millimeter on a Micro Four Thirds sensor, which is a 2x crop factor, would be a 48/50 millimeter lens, which is going to be like right here on your face, and that's it. And so this is, although we're cropped a little bit, this is a 24 millimeter lens, although it's like right up on me at the moment. So this is equivalent focal length that the 16 millimeters have. Pretty standard webcam view. I wish I could replace that transition. Fenrir seems to be able to like randomly recreate the issue I'm having, so that gives me confidence that it's not just me. That's what I get for replacing my main installation with a release candidate. Release candidate. No, the opposite. So the A6400 is a sensor that's considered a crop sensor because it is smaller than full frame. It is APS-C. And so the crop factor of that, which is the difference between a full frame sensor and the APS-C sensor, is 1.5 times. Or 1.6, depending on your company. And so you multiply your focal length of your lens by that crop factor to get what it would effectively be in full frame, or the equivalent in full frame. The lens itself is still a 16 millimeter lens, but your sensor is only seeing part of that. Couldn't you have both versions of OBS installed? Not to actually have it installed. You can run other versions of OBS portably, or just from a folder, but I specifically needed the Stream Deck plugins, and so I just went ahead and replaced my installation. But you cannot actually install multiple versions. They replace each other.
Transition that has a window for the second scene to show up in. Well, I could go on and export this out and set the usual transition point, both the inside of the CRT and the outside would transition at the same time, which is, it doesn't look as cool. So instead, we need to build our track mat.
Even if you rename the folder, I mean, I guess if I renamed the folder, but then the plugin still wouldn't be there, and then I'd have to copy that over anyway, and Which is not what I did. Do you know how to add to a delay to a stream without going offline? I mean, you can't. There's a time jump involved. Unless you're a time traveler, you are streaming real time now. To add a delay, there would be a gap of that time, which would be effectively you just hitting stop streaming, adding a delay, and start streaming again anyway. Like, time doesn't work that way. You're breaking my brain, man. Alright, we need this. Actually, it's this one. Alright, so we want basically just two graphics here that we're transitioning between. We need some text. Hello? Why does it scroll? Why does it start scroll down? That's random bugs like that just drag me nuts. Without track mat. So without the track mat, is what I'm explaining is, in order for this transition to work, to show it in the TV, you'd also have to show it in the background. Shut up, symbolism. I don't need this. Oh, but now I have to show it with track mat. And I don't have a track mat. Son of a biscuit. Track mat DaVinci Resolve. Sure, I'm trusting you first search result. Oh god, music. Why music? Oh god, Max. Why Mac? Alright, they have matte transitions.
A lot of people make is they do what I just did with our two main basketball clips. Is they just take these elements, they drag them, and they drop them into your project, which is how, it seems to be the most common way to work. And this is in a lot of cases where people get tripped up.
Oh yeah!
We actually...
This chap's got it right. We need to modify it. You actually set it as a matte transition. I remember this now. Jogged my memory. Come on, autosave. Alright, it is saved here. Whee! Don't look at these folders, don't look at these folders, don't look at these folders. Track mat. Yeah, right click. Add media pool as matte. There we go. I forgot how to use it though, so back to the video.
They don't hear our background, which is going to be this shot right here. I'm just going to drag and drop it into my timeline, okay? And let's add a new video track, and let's just put in my slam dunk shot. Now, it doesn't really matter where I put it for right now. I'm just going to take it and drag it and drop it into my sequence. Okay?
Yep.
Now, this is another place where you can get tripped up if you don't know exactly what you want to achieve.
Okay, just tell me how to do it.
What I see others doing is kind of crossing their fingers.
Oh my God.
When they put the track elements the way that we did and flag them as being mattes for resolve, they wouldn't appear here inside of my track mat section. You'll see now, there are the two mattes.
Okay, so it is in Fusion. Son of a... Did he jump to Fusion or is he in color? I think that's Fusion.
Didn't bring in and make any secondary adjustments to it. So what they'll do is this. They'll head to the color module. Inside the color module, what they will do is with the basket shot selected, they're going to right click on this element and they're going to come down to add matte. Now, if we didn't bring in those two elements the way that we did...
That is in the color panel. Hey, I don't have to use Fusion directly. It's what I like to see. Alright. I probably pronounced it wrong the first time you were in the stream, but now I know what it's supposed to mean. Alright. So now we come up here. Color tab. Add matte. Yeah, but it's not gonna be, it's not cropped properly. Oh, and then we gotta do all that. I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna finish and render out this video tonight anyway. So we're just gonna add a marker to come back to this. Come back to. You know it's bad when a cool effect, excuse me, that I want to show off is easier to do live within OBS Studio than in a freaking video editor. This drives me nuts all the time. Like, even stuff like really cool face tracking in your phones and things like that. Why can I do complex face tracking in a phone and not do it on a computer without software that I don't have? Like, why is this just not baked into my video editors? Especially given that this has to do it in real time, which is why the results can be worse, whereas the computer can do it in post and not do it in real time. No, I don't use Premiere pretty much at all anymore. They're both just full-on editors for me, so whichever I'm using to edit the video, I'm using. But used to, I'd do specific kinds of videos that were easier for me to edit in Premiere. But I edit everything exclusively in Resolve these days. The stability and the performance are just too much to mess with Premiere these days. Notice you own a M1 Mac Mini. Have you made a video about it yet? I have not. It's been on my list. It's been sitting here at the login screen for months now. I've got videos I want to make about it. I just haven't gotten there in the priorities yet. Stuff like friggin' an OBS update keep coming up.
So instead, we need to build our track mat in a new composition. With these, you need to be... Instead, we need to build our track mat. So instead, we need to build our track mat in a new composition. With these, you need a masking animation of 2 colors, black and white. Black indicates scene 1, the scene that you're transitioning from, and white indicates scene 2, the scene that you're transitioning towards. I will note here that OBS will give you the...
We'll add some text for that.
White indicates scene 2, the scene that you're transitioning towards. I will note here that OBS will give you...
Why is Premiere open then? It has a specific effect that I was showing in the video that Resolve doesn't have, at least without doing complex fusion stuff.
OBS mask will give you the option to invert the mask color, so you can do the
I mean, the videos I'm making don't need OBS to be native right now.
if that's necessary for your work, but working with the defaults of black and white is usually the way to go, as I described. So since I already made and tracked my mask for the CRT, I simply made a new composition with white and black solids and copied my mask. Do the opposite if that's necessary for your work, but working with the defaults of black and white is usually the way to go.
The editing is going. There's no qualitative descriptor, just it's going.
My mask for the CRT. I simply made a new composition with white and black solids and copied my mask keyframes at the right point in time to the white solid. Then once it reaches the point where the whole scene is supposed to show scene 2, not just the masked bit, I have another full screen white solid show up to fill the screen at the exact point that it normally would. Otherwise, if I just let it push in and then push back into the black, then it will cut back to scene 1 before it finishes scene 2 and doesn't work.
Oh, you want to see all the stuff I have to make videos on? Hold up. We can make this happen. We can make this happen. Come on, NDI. There we go. Mute main. And this time we unmute the phone. Oh, that's clipping though. Sorry about that. Well, you probably can't see a lot of what's here. Let's just do this. This shelf right here. Keep in mind everything's destroyed because we're finishing the air conditioner. But this middle, I mean, obviously there's a couple things I've already covered, but this entire middle shelf is effectively my to-do list. And so it is stuff I need to review, stuff I need to ship off, stuff I need to keep to compare. Now, granted, some of those are product boxes of stuff I have because they moved. But effectively, these shelves are my to-do list. So I've got microphones that I've still never covered. We've got capture cards I need to review or cover again. I got a headset with my name on it that I need to cover. More capture cards, a 2060 for a budget streaming rig. I bought this. Actually, this would be useful for another part of the studio. Hello? I bought this supposedly latency-free HDMI transmitter
gaming because it was so low latency that I wanted to test. It was a Kickstarter project. It's probably not relevant to test at this point, but it's on the shelf. Now it's not. Webcams. I have NDA stuff, so I can't always show, like, everything. Oh yeah, that was one of the extra Elgato light strips that I'm putting it behind my retro table over there so that it has a bit of a backsplash light going on. So I haven't even set up the retro table. It's kind of sad. All right. We're not done yet, however. Now you need to put these two compositions in the same composition, either side by side with the Stinger transition on the left and the track mat on the right, or stacked with the Stinger transition up top. So for a 1080p transition...
No, we need more text. More text. I covered it in my Elgato sound foam review / moving vlog number 7. Because honestly, there was no point to me making a dedicated video on an LED strip. I am not that kind of channel. Can't wait to share some news about this music with you guys in the future. You might be able to convert it to a 12-volt header, but they've made their own weird plug-in for it. And so, technically it's just RGBW or WW, but you'd have to solder it together. Granted, I soldered 2 of my own strips together, so it's fine, but...
would either be 30 or 40 by 1080 for side by side, or 1920 by 1060 for stacked vertically.
What's your idea, Zelivisil? Or question, or whatever.
Make sure the timing of these lines up, of course. Now export this out.
Run time control.
With alpha, and add it to OBS. Enable track mat in these Stinger.
No.
Properties, choose the layout side by side. Vertical. Invert the colors if you need to, and preview to make sure everything is working smoothly. And wham, bam, you have some absolutely sick transitions. I will say that what I have done here, well, pretty cool. IMO is honestly the low-hanging fruit of what can be done here. There's a ton more possibilities, and I'm stoked to see what everyone comes up with. I will be experimenting with some in... I will be experimenting with...
at discord.gg/EposVox. Unfortunately, despite with some comments... I've been considering streaming, but my issue is my laptop does not have enough USB port for my game controller and microphone. I have another desktop, but it's not good enough to play on. Would it be possible to hook up my microphone to the desktop and somehow stream that to my laptop? You don't want to put your laptop or your microphone into your desktop and then back out to your laptop, because the latency for that would be abysmal and inconsistent with whatever else you're showing. Do you have multiple game controllers? Would a USB hub work for that? Because those usually don't affect the latency of the controllers. They do affect problems for powering microphones. You could pipe out the video to your desktop. I don't know the specs of it, but like you could just run a very fast X264 or something depending on the specs. By the way, I'm stealing your covering PC with stickers idea. Well, back in the day, that was the standard practice before everyone got all minimal and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you could try NDI from your laptop to your desktop if desktop supports the instruction sets required for NDI. I've run into that. And then plug your microphone into your desktop, but I did not include an ad spot here. That's fine. That's fine. Where do we want the ad to go? So this video is pretty much done. I mean, it's not done. We got some stuff I gotta add in later when I'm not streaming, but we do need to edit up an ad spot.
So instead, we need to build our track mat in a new composition. With these, you need a... So since I already made and tracked...
Yeah, it's just gonna have to go before this cut. I think that's the only place it makes sense. Yikes. And then that is in a completely different video, because I expected a different video to be my first one. Oh yes, V27, dual... Alright, Car shopping is rough, dude. Can't say I envy you. I don't miss that process. Done it a couple times. It's not fun. Did you get rid of the puke green RE20? No, I still have it. It's on reserve. Still sounds amazing. Doesn't matter what it looks like.
If performance was your only real concern, you know what else I'm stoked for? New creators getting into stream.
Honestly, that segue probably works for this ad spot, even on this video. Well, that's like double the length of the video. So we gotta work on that. No one noticed the shirt change. Actually, it's GG/EposVox.
You know what else I'm stoked for?
It's not the same shirt at all.
You know what else I'm stoked for? This message from our sponsor.
Well, technically, the ElectroVoice RE20 was sent to me by ElectroVoice, and they had some big formal company thing to protect themselves. So technically, I'm supposed to say they sent it to me, #ad, even though they didn't pay me anything. They just sent me the microphone for my new studio. So thanks, ElectroVoice, but I'm well versed on the FTC guidelines for this stuff. ElectroVoice's guidelines were a bit overkill. Now I need the ad spot files. Which actually, I really just kind of used this last time. We're gonna add. The sample footage they gave me was recorded on a Mac in 16 by 10. Awkward to work with, but since I don't need the actual Mac UI part, I can just move it off screen. What's up, Taz Devil?
For that, I recommend checking out Mark. Production, and of course, video production, like the course I'm recommending. They even have classes from. They even have classes from such as PhD that I could recommend. It should be at the top of your list. Skillshare is for real working creatives and lifelong learners. Skillshare is for real work. Skillshare is for real working creatives and lifelong learners who are never content being stuck where they're at and always want to improve. That sounds like a lot of ideas. It's created specifically for learning, so there's no ads and there's always new premium courses being launched like Affiliations. For less than $10 per month with an annual subscription, it's a fantastic deal. But if somehow it's not good enough for you the first month.
Why is it not letting me make this text any bigger? That was weird. Oh, the text counter isn't updating either. It just says 75. 17, Resolve 17 has some bizarre UI bugs that I don't really understand how they make it past QC, other than maybe these are just features that no one uses when they're testing. It's so weird. You purchased one of the $15 Can't links. Very nice.
People to sign up with my link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Happy learning. This is just one of a few videos I have coming out for the new OBS version, so get subscribed for more. The beta just released at the time of recording, so there's a lot of cool stuff to dive into and test before it's even fully released, but there is some neat stuff.
Oh, wait. Actually, would I get away with just a complete shirt change for the end of the video too? I think I say more here though.
Unfortunately, despite what some comments have suggested on my media format investigation video, this does not eliminate the need for alpha channels and hardware acceleration for smoother transitions. Hopefully they will one day enable chroma keying for Steam.
Well, it's kind of redundant, but I think I need to keep it in, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, despite what some comments have suggested on my media format investigation video, this does not eliminate the need for alpha channel and hardware acceleration for smoother transitions. Hopefully they will one day enable chroma keying for smoother and save us a lot of headache, but causes more headaches, but today is not that day. I'm showing another way that your transition can become more powerful in the next video on this update, so stay tuned. I'm EposVox, the stream professor. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe for more tech education and stream guide, and sound off in the comments with what transition ideas you come up with. See ya.
Alright, so now we need to add our color grade to the ad spot stuff that we just did, because that does not have it. Hello, zoom in. Analyze our face. Analyze your face off. God, I wish I could change that transition. It will not let me. I just now was able to upgrade my can't link to a cam link someone was getting rid of. Mine only did 1080p 30, so a worthy upgrade. Very awesome. Very awesome. The camera's so much higher now because it had the teleprompter sitting below it, so now it's like awkwardly pointing too high. I turned it down, but now it's awkwardly angled. I keep feeling like it's getting dark on the camera, even though I have so much light on me right now. Maybe I'll turn ISO up. Do I have a LUT on this camera in OBS? That would be a problem. I had not considered that. Filters, are there any filters? Nope. Okay. And I guess we're turning ISO up a tiny bit. There we go. I start getting, no, see, I get hot spots when I do that. ISO 250 is like the sweet spot for Sony cameras. Also, there's this weird thing, and I learned that in my very first apartment studio. But the more lights you have in the room, the weirder and like darker you actually look. Not darker overall, but like when you're trying to get just you to be bright, the balance gets thrown off. Yo, you might know any idea for a tiny monitor that can mount to the side of another monitor, something 7 to 10 inches. You missed our whole discussion about these super small field monitors that I'm buying for my teleprompters. I'll actually just link you the one that I purchased in the chat here. These are field monitors used for video monitoring when you're on your camera and stuff. This one's like a 5-inch. I just ordered this 7-inch one for my next teleprompter setup. It's a little bit better suited for that purpose. They don't have great quality or anything like that because they're not built for that, but they have 1/4-20 threads so you can clamp them to whatever. Actually, I don't need to color grade that clip because it's never actually shown on screen, so I can skip out that process. Alright, we've about wrapped up this video. I feel a little bit better about the progress I've made tonight. I probably could have made more, but honestly, I'm just so exhausted that it wasn't really worth it. These videos are supposed to come out this week. I've got this one and then one about a microphone that stays off screen. Some cool stuff there. But yeah. I think we're probably going to wrap up today's stream, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us in the chat. I know it's a little bit shorter than I usually run, but it's almost 2 a.m. I do need to get some sleep at some point. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys being awesome in the streams as always. Content should be coming. I've had a lot of trouble keeping up with the schedule lately, but I think we're finally, like, this is the last major construction on the studio that should be like disrupting things. And so after this point and after the holiday, hopefully things will smooth out a little bit, especially since I have quite a few of these videos to like pre-schedule and then hopefully streamer news this upcoming week and things like that. We did have to cancel a community game night that was supposed to be last weekend, and then we pushed it to this weekend, and then we had to cancel it. My community manager hasn't had internet all day, and I've just had too much going on to coordinate it, especially for the time it was supposed to be. So we will have one towards the end of this month and make sure we actually get our shit together and make it happen. Thank you so much, everybody. Hope you have a great evening and a great Easter and blah, blah, blah. I'll see you later. Peace.